Welcome to our video about the fascinating world of Pokemon and their placement on the Tree of Life. Today, we take a closer look at Weezing and its relationship with Tentacruel. Ready? Let's go. Cnidarians are simply structured multicellular animals characterized by the presence of stinging capsules, Cnidae. They inhabit the coasts, seabeds, and open waters of the world's oceans, as well as some freshwater environments. Well-known subgroups include jellyfish, both umbrella-shaped and box-shaped, sessile flower animals such as sea anemones, stony and soft corals, and the diverse hydrozoans, which include colonial jellyfish and the freshwater polyp native to streams and rivers in Central Europe. Currently, more than 11,000 extant species are known. Some cnidarians, e.g., Polypodium hydriform and Myxozoa, are parasitic. As tissue animals, cnidarians possess true tissues and organs. Their body plan is typically radially symmetrical and consists of two cell layers: the outer epidermis, ectodermis, and the inner gastrodermis, endodermis. Between these layers lies the mesoglia, not to be confused with the mesoderm. Although the mesoglia is sometimes considered a third germ layer, it shares no structural similarities with the mesodermal tissues of higher metazoans. The gastrodermis surrounds the stomach of the cnidarians, known as the gastrovascular cavity. This cavity has only one opening through which food is ingested and waste is expelled. Alongside the mesoglia, it also functions as a hydrostatic support skeleton. Hard skeletons are found only in polyps that deposit calcium carbonate, e.g. Octocoralia. Cnidarians lack a true circulatory system. Gas exchange occurs via diffusion. The gastrovascular system plays a dual role in both digestion and the distribution of nutrients and removal of metabolic waste. It includes the central cavity and its extensions into the tentacles of polyps. Nutrient particles are primarily absorbed by the nutritive muscle cells of the gastrodermis. Cnidarians possess true nerve cells that form a diffuse network with minimal centralization. In polyps, nerve cell concentrations are found around the mouth, hypostome, in the tentacles, and at the base, peduncle. In jellyfish, a nerve ring often encircles the bell. A specialized direction of signal transmission is often not yet developed. However, the connection of nerves via gap junctions allows some species to transmit impulses rapidly, and a wide variety of neuropeptides enables modulation of these impulses. For a long time, cnidarians were thought to be diploblastic animals, meaning they had only two germ layers. Recent research suggests that cnidarians may also possess a mesoderm, from which, among other things, the musculature of medusae develops. The defining feature of cnidarians is a specialized cell type called the cnidocyte. These cells are located on the tentacles surrounding the mouth and contain the characteristic stinging capsules, cnidae or cnidocysts. These capsules house a coiled, stinging thread that is explosively discharged upon contact, injecting highly toxic substances into the prey, which either kills or paralyzes it. Cnidocytes serve both for prey capture and defense against predators. All cnidarians possess cnidocytes. Another important cell type is the interstitial cell, also known as an eye cell. These are pluripotent cells, meaning they can differentiate into other cell types such as germ cells, gland cells, or nerve cells, but not into epithelial muscle cells or nutritive muscle cells. The latter two types can only arise from their own kind. Thanks to this system, many cnidarians possess remarkable regenerative abilities. Freshwater polyps of the genus Hydra are especially used in research as models for pattern formation processes. Interstitial cells are restricted to hydrozoans and are absent in other cnidarian groups. The two main morphological forms are polyp and medusa, which can occur as different life stages within the same species and therefore have no systematic significance. Polyps are anchored to a substrate via a structure called the basal disc, although some species can move in curious slow-motion somersaults. Naturally, their tentacles point upward, away from the substrate. Polyps often appear in large colonies. In summary, a polyp consists of the foot disc, the proximal aboral body end, a stalk called the scapus, the oral disc, peristome, with a single body opening, surrounded by tentacles used for capturing prey. Within the four cnidarian groups, there are characteristic differences in the septa that divide the gastrovascular cavity into separate gastric pouches. Cubozoa and Hydrozoa are relatively simple in structure and lack these septa. Jellyfish can be easily derived from polyps. The foot disc and scapus become the upper side, exumbrella, and the oral disc becomes the underside, subumbrella. Jellyfish, also called medusa, have a hat or bell-shaped appearance and typically drift passively with ocean currents. Their tentacles hang freely downward. However, they can also move actively by coordinated muscle contractions against the water in the gastrovascular cavity using a jet propulsion mechanism. Cnidarians exhibit a wide range of sizes. Most species are only a few millimeters in size, some even smaller. On the other end of the spectrum, Cyanea jellyfish can reach a diameter of 2 meters, and polyps of the genus Branchiocerianthus can grow just as long. In some species, tentacles can reach lengths of up to 30 meters. Cnidarians are found worldwide in marine environments and more rarely in freshwater. Many live as jellyfish in open water and, through their various larval stages, form an important part of the zooplankton. On coastlines, sessile and often colonial cnidarians dominate hard substrates and have created, with tropical coral reefs, one of the most species-rich and productive ecosystems on Earth. Among them are sea pens, a group specialized in soft and muddy seabeds, including deep-sea habitats in the Southern Ocean. Most cnidarians feed on prey that comes into contact with their tentacles. These prey include zooplankton organisms such as protists, various worms, crustaceans, and other jellyfish. Larger cnidarians can overpower larger prey like fish. Soft corals and gorgonians also capture phytoplankton. Some groups, especially most stony corals, but also many soft corals, gorgonians, sea anemones, and fire corals, live in symbiosis with photosynthetic algae, usually dinoflagellates, dinoflagellata, and sometimes green algae, chlorophyta. These algae absorb carbon dioxide produced by their cnidarian hosts, and using sunlight and releasing oxygen, produce energy-rich carbohydrates that serve as the main food source for the cnidarians. Coral reefs, built by a subgroup of cnidarians, the skeleton-forming stony corals, have immense ecological importance. These reefs occur in 2 ecological zones. As deep-water reefs in cold waters starting at depths of 60 meters, such as along the European continental slope, and as shallow water reefs in warm seas with water temperatures above 20 degrees Celsius. Crucial to reef formation are the previously mentioned endosymbiotic algal partners. When ocean temperatures rise excessively, coral bleaching often occurs, a process in which the symbiosis breaks down as the corals expel their algae. Due to their dependence on sunlight, coral reefs as shallow water formations are found only in tropical regions. In these environments, coral polyps, alongside other organisms such as certain tube worms, red algae, and green algae, secrete calcium carbonate as an external or exoskeleton. Over time, these deposits can accumulate into massive reef structures. Once light availability becomes insufficient, typically at depths beyond 60 meters, the corals die off. However, their skeletons serve as a foundation for the next generation to settle. In this way, coral reefs can grow vertically in response to gradually rising sea levels. Coral reefs are among the most biodiverse ecosystems on Earth and have global significance due to their influence on ocean currents. They are inhabited by a wide variety of organisms, including sponges, various worms, fish, algae, and protists. Throughout geological history, numerous rock formations have developed from limestone deposited by corals. For example, the rich deposits found in Germany's Eifel region and the Bergisches Land trace back to Devonian coral reefs that are hundreds of millions of years old. More recent examples include the Bermuda Islands, the Bahamas, and many Pacific island groups, all of which are built upon coral reef foundations. Cnidarians are an ancient animal group. They were already present in the so-called Ediacaran fauna of the late Proterozoic, around 550 million years ago, making them among the earliest known animal fossils. One example is Auroralumina attenboroughii, considered the oldest known predatory animal. The fossil record of cnidarian groups varies significantly. Jellyfish, composed of soft tissue, are preserved only under exceptional conditions. In contrast, the evolutionary history of corals is well documented thanks to the durable calcium carbonate skeletons they leave behind. The earliest coral reefs date back to the early Ordovician period, around 500 million years ago. However, these ancient forms differed markedly from modern corals, which first appeared after the major mass extinction at the end of the Permian period, around 240 million years ago, and became prominent in the mid-Triassic, roughly 220 million years ago. The Rhizostomii, or root-mouth jellyfish, are an order within the class Scyphozoa, true jellyfish. Around 80 species are known, including the barrel jellyfish, Rhizostoma pulmo, which inhabits European coasts and can reach a bell diameter of 60 to 80 centimeters, the Rhizostoma octopus, found in the North Sea, and the fried egg jellyfish, Cotyloorhiza tuberculata, from the Mediterranean. Nemopollema nomeri is the largest species of rootmouth jellyfish. It can reach a diameter of up to 2 meters and weigh as much as 200 kilograms. Its tentacles may grow up to 5 meters long. Rootmouth jellyfish have a bowl-shaped or dome-like bell that lacks tentacles. Instead, they possess a highly developed oral arm structure. The edges of the oral tube are elongated into stalk-like extensions that fuse into a folded root-like formation. This typically results in 8 arms with numerous curly branches. A central mouth opening is absent and replaced by many small pores located on the oral arms. Despite lacking a central mouth, root-mouth jellyfish are capable of consuming larger prey. These are paralyzed by the numerous stinging cells, cnidocytes, on the oral arms, enveloped by them, and then broken down by digestive enzymes secreted through the pores, allowing the jellyfish to absorb the nutrients. Cassiopeia, commonly known as the mangrove jellyfish, is a genus within the true jellyfish, Scyphozoa. These jellyfish are found worldwide and often inhabit shallow coastal waters influenced by mangroves, though not exclusively. They prefer sandy or seagrass-covered areas and are typically seen in larger groups. In English, Cassiopeia is also referred to as the upside-down jellyfish because, unlike other jellyfish that drift with ocean currents, it remains stationary on the seabed. In this position, its tentacles point upward toward the sunlight, and the jellyfish appears to be upside down. This genus lives in symbiosis with algae that reside within its tentacle tissues and perform photosynthesis there. Mangrove jellyfish also possess stinging cells, nematocytes, specifically casiosomes, which primarily serve defensive purposes. These can cause mild itching and skin irritation in humans. Casiosomes are notable for being released into the surrounding water in mucus, allowing them to function outside the jellyfish's body. This phenomenon has been proposed as an explanation for the so-called stinging water, where divers report skin irritation even without direct contact with a jellyfish. Interestingly, although Cassiopeia lacks a central nervous system, a sleep-like state has been observed in this genus. That's it for now. In the next episode, we take a closer look at Kangaskhan and its surprising connection to all mammal Pokemon. Feel free to subscribe to our channel, leave a like, and check in next time.